Hello, we're from After Ellen. I'm Trish, and this is Liana.
Hi, everybody.
And we're here with three of the stars of Showtime's Elward, Mississippi, Hate the Sin. And we're here with Brandolyn and Jana and Danica. And we're going to be answering your questions for them and also asking some that we had because obviously this was a lot of people have opinions, as I'm sure you guys all saw on the internet. So I'd like to start with maybe Jana and Danica, if you guys want to go first and say, what has the reaction been so far?
Um, been kind of mixed. A lot of people are. I read a lot of comments that are like, "We hate it. We absolutely hate it." But when you dig a little bit deeper, they hated it not because of our storylines. They really hated what we were going through. A lot of people thought it was just really deep and dark, and it was difficult to watch. But I think that was the whole purpose of it is just a completely different direction of what anything L word or the real L word was focused on, and just to show a different side of it. But the positive reaction has been absolutely overwhelming. We've gotten so many emails, so many messages. I actually had somebody show up on my doorstep yesterday. It's crazy.
Whoa, what were they saying?
Yeah. Well, they rang the doorbell, and I opened the door, and they're just like, "Oh my God, we recognize the house from the show," and they're just going 90 miles an hour. Is Danica here? She was my favorite one. Oh my God, we love you guys. And I was just like, whoa, okay, like it was crazy, but it was nice. I talked to them; they were fans. So that was, I don't know. I guess it was cool, but it was weird. It
Creepy.
was, yeah.
Wow. Brandolyn, what about you?
Oh my, we've had thousands of emails and tweets and messages, and everything's been positive on my side. A lot of people, a lot of support. People, I've heard inspirational stories, and I've heard tragic stories, and people are sharing their stories with me, and I've been answering them, each one individually, and it's very important that Susan and we sat in bed all weekend with our laptops and our cell phones just answering messages and trying to respond to everybody. But we've had nothing but positive, except of course from the church, my former church. But we expected that.
hmm Well, I think I'd like to hear more about kind of that part of it. Like you expected it, but what kind of feedback did you get? Did it start any difficult conversations, or was it kind of more the same?
Well, they blocked me from social media way back, which is great because when I left the church, it was really social media was probably the hardest part for me because they would bully me on social media. So we were actually sitting here, and a friend of mine was here, and she's friends with them on Facebook, and they were all calling me an actress and calling me a liar and saying things like that, and she'll do anything to be famous and just some things like that. But I'm so over it; it didn't bother me. I just laughed, and I was actually with a friend of mine today, and she used to go to church with me over there, and she said all of that happened, and everybody knows that it happened, and they're just in complete denial about it, and they're embarrassed. You can't treat people like that and not expect it to bite you in the ass.
Yeah.
Well spoken. So how much of it? I just want to know, like, so they're accusing you. I guess that's a good word of sort of making up the storyline or even like embellishing or whatever. Like, how much of it really reflected the experiences that you guys were going through, and did you feel like it accurately represented the struggle? That it gave you your voice accurately.
I was very pleased with it. We were a little concerned, because we didn't know how it was going to turn out. We thought, how are they going to portray us? But it was very honest, and it was very accurate. I was very pleased with it.
What about you guys?
Yeah, Danica, how does your mom feel about it?
Oh, my mom. She thinks that everyone hates her on social media. She's like, everyone's talking bad about me, and you guys made me look bad. And we said, we didn't make you look bad. That's exactly how you feel. That is, it is. That's exactly the thing that she said. It was mild compared to most of the things she says. So,
Yeah.
but she wasn't expecting all the feedback that she got. Like the women she works with, they were like, we watched the show. We had no idea it was this bad.
Showtime did her a favor. It was not near as bad as some of the things she said and done, and I think they captured some of it on camera, but they painted her in a much better light. They showed her apology, which that was real. It wasn't scripted. I was shocked by that. That they painted her in a much better light than I thought maybe they would, but they definitely did her a favor. Like,
Yeah, I felt
she
like
said it's our fault, but
Yeah, I felt
She
like
said,
watching your mom have her reaction, like what she said. I thought that they were fair too. Like I didn't think your mom was a total asshole. I didn't think so. I just thought that she was. I mean, my background is with the Christian church too, so I just thought she sounded like someone that was having difficulty with your journey. But the fact that she was sitting down at the table with you and wanting to talk about everything, but shows that she was sort of there. And when she started talking about it, it was a little ignorant, but it was almost like she was trying to figure it out. I didn't think that it made her look like a total
I think
jerk.
so. I think she was trying to figure it out too.
Right, she's gotten a lot better. Like,
A lot.
she used to be
A
really,
lot.
really bad. And I think that moving in the South, she's in a relationship with a new husband. She's only been in Mississippi for 5 years total. Like, we're not from this area. And so I think that there's a lot of pressure from the church, from her new family, to see what kind of mother she is and how she raises her family. So I think that, because honestly, I told Jen, I said, my mom's such a different person now than she was before, because I honestly had no problem coming out because I didn't think it would be a big deal to her. Like, I did not think that it was going to affect her the way that it has. So I think that she just has a lot of pressure from her new family, her husband, her in-laws, and things, and her new children that she's raising with her husband. So as her stepmom, she just doesn't want to show that I get away with whatever I want, pretty much.
Well,
New mom.
No mom ever
2.0.
wants that. Gianna, a lot of people want to know what happened with your mom. If you came out to her after the show, did you show it to her? Is that how you came out? Can you tell us?
Well, look at that face. Look at that face. Okay. You guys met my brother. You saw him on the show.
Yes.
So we're down to the wire. It's like a week before, the show's gonna air, and we're all trying to figure out how we're gonna tell her. I'd written an email. My mom's a very stern woman. She needs time to process things. She needs time away and time away from me. So we were trying to figure out. Her birthday had come up, so Danica was like, "Let's go." We were going to dinner with her. She's like, "Let's tell her." And I was like, "Not at her birthday dinner. We can't tell her." At her birthday. So
happy birthday, Mom. I'm a lesbian.
Yeah.
And I'm going on national television to tell the world about it.
and was going on national television. Yeah, that was the thing.
Did she know that you were doing this documentary? Did she know that you were filming something?
No, yeah, but she had no idea, no clue what it was anywhere along these lines. So we're trying to figure it out. She lives 4 hours away, so I couldn't just like bomb to her house and say, "Hey, we need to talk." So we had a plan of attack. So my brother's like, "You got 2 days, or I'm doing it." And I was like, "I don't care. I don't care." So he called him.
How it turned out, like how she responded.
Yeah, she said that it's a phase and that she's disgusted and that she doesn't know why I have to. If I want to be a lesbian, she doesn't know why I have to air our dirty laundry on national TV.
Dirty laundry.
You should have shown her the real L word first, and then y'all's L word. You should have been like, "Thank you for making us look good."
Yeah.
That's
So
a
she
very good idea.
the typical phases of dealing with it: angry, sad, mad, hurt, not understanding. So she and I have spoken, but we have not spoken about it. I don't think she's seen the show yet because she hasn't called me. I think if she sees the show, especially the scene with my brother and myself, I think she'd be pissed. So she hasn't.
Can I ask you guys what you all thought of Renee? Because that is a totally different piece of the story with showing somebody who is rejecting their homosexuality and trying to change it, essentially. Can you guys tell me how you felt about it when you knew she was part of the project and then watching it?
Her story really resonated with me because, I had the same battle. I mean, that's exactly what I was going through and exactly what I was trying to help others get healed from. So it was very, I can empathize with her. And I've reached out to her some and talked to her some since. And I've really defended her on social media because a couple of people have said, "She's crazy, that woman trying to pray the gay away." And I said, "She's not crazy. The church has imparted a fear into this mother's heart and a guilt, and she feels responsible not only for herself but for her son, and she really feels like her son, and it is her responsibility that he is going to burn in an eternal hell." And that's a scary thing, especially for a mother, and she's not crazy, she's indoctrinated. Mm-hmm. And I really hope that she can I offered to talk to her. I said, I want to show you what God has showed me in the Bible. And I said, but I don't want to push that on you because I don't want her to think I'm the devil or I'm coming at her with bad ideas. But I've offered her and I've opened the door to her and I've reached out to her. So hopefully she will hear. And I think the one part in that documentary that infuriated me even more than the pedophile comment was when the woman grabbed Renee and said, "You look like one of us."
Now, yeah.
I think that was probably one of the most that was heart-wrenching to me. Brainwashing, terrible.
There was a moment in the documentary that really fascinated me about you, Brandolyn, when you were in front of Walmart and you were like handing out pamphlets in front of Walmart for like what your event or the launch of the product. I was like, that is amazing / frightening, and that alone, I kind of want to hear about that experience. Why you went to the Walmart? Is it because that's where everyone kind of goes? I mean, A, and B, there was a moment that you got into a discussion with a pastor or someone that said he was going to be praying for you, and I noticed how upset you were. Like, I don't know if you meant it was hard for you to. I felt like you were still upset. If that's unfair or angry, if that's unfair to ask, then let me know. But I just want to know, like, where you were in your journey then and now. And okay, so why'd you pick Walmart? And sorry about that fight or that discussion. Whatever you thought.
Well, you're right. We live in a small town. This is small town America, and that is the only place to go here in Jones County. So if you need to reach people and find people, you go to Walmart. And after you go to Walmart, and of course you have some colorful characters there, but that's beside the point. But yes, I was very angry. That was only like a year after everything happened with the church. So yeah, I was very angry. And when he came at me and compared my life and my love to pedophilia, I was furious, and I couldn't find the words. And I thought about that conversation, and what I would have said to him had I not been so emotional, because when he did that and when he said those things, it opened that wound up, and so all of those emotions and all of those hurts just flooded me at that moment, and I couldn't gather myself enough to speak to him other than, I just want to rip your head off, and I knew I couldn't say that. So I wanted to look at him and say, "Sir, if you are indeed straight," which I had my doubts. But if you are indeed straight, you're a middle-aged, white, heterosexual male, and you fit the profile of a pedophile more so than anybody in the LGBT community. And I wish to God I had said that to him on camera, and I hope that he hears this, because
I'm sure he's watching right now.
A few weeks later, he wrote, there was an article about the Dandelion Project, and it was on the front page. It was a big article. Well, he wrote the newspaper in response to it. And he, Sodomy is a Sin was the name of it. And he referred to he couldn't say the word homosexual, he couldn't say gay, he called each one of us sodomites in the whole article, and it was horrible. And that was in my hometown. So it was like, I had the pleasure of meeting Brandolyn Deere, a few weeks ago, and he was referring to that moment when we met in the parking lot, yeah. And then he called us sodomites the whole time.
It was, sodomites. I mean, you can count. No, I won't go there. Let's just not go there, because
let's don't. I'll get on a soapbox and I'll start preaching.
No, that's great. I love that. I kind of want to go back to the girls. I just have a quick question for you guys. Trish and I, we live in LA. Life in LA. When we go out, I imagine it's different when
do you have fun?
Guys go out.
What do you do as a lesbian?
It was the documentary was so heavy, which I know it's supposed to be, but tell me what you got. What does a Friday night look like in small town USA?
We take shots. So anything small with shots.
They're going to be so much cheaper too. You guys pay way less money for shots out there.
Yeah, we have a lot of. Honestly, we've got a really, really strong group of friends. A really strong support system. You saw some of the girls at the round table with us. We were having dinner. We'll have people over. Sometimes we'll go. There are bars here. We shot some scenes at a few of the bars actually, but it wasn't put into the documentary. But we go out, we have a good time, we find ways. There are bars, with as long as there's alcohol, I'm sure we can find a way to have a good time. So.
But where do you go? Do you go to Walmart to meet a girl? Like, where do you know that there's going to be a girl at if you want to meet somebody?
That is an ignorant. I apologize. Walmart to meet a girl.
They have talked about Walmart. Some of the other girls in it talked about going to Walmart too. So
yeah, shout out to Britain. That's her favorite line. I'm walking to Walmart, her holding my girlfriend's hand. We're getting Britain a shirt that says Walmart, by the way.
It's not the saving place.
We go to New Orleans. New Orleans is like an hour and a half from us. Yeah. We go to the coast. The coast takes us like 45 minutes to an hour. Jackson's close. Mobile's super close. All of those places are like an hour 15 minutes. We've got friends in all of those places, and they all have a really, really hopping gay nightlife. So we go there if we really want to go to a bar and.
Like,
sounds great to me, actually.
How much pressure is there on you all to sort of identify with a faith, or to talk about faith, or to be a Christian? Is that like a constantly in the air? And I know that Brenda Lynn has that. She just went like this. We'll put it on I know from the girls too.
That is one thing that a lot, and unfortunately, a lot of the LGBT community in this area have just stepped away from faith completely. I mean, they have gone from being raised Christian to being completely atheist and turning their back on the church. And of course, in my town, in this town, we are demonized because, what am I trying to say? Because Christians have decided that we are committing the unpardonable sin, and I'm not sure where they get that from because it's not biblical. But it's in Jones County, in my county, there are more churches per capita than anywhere else in the United States, and that's because the people can't get along, so they split and they build new churches.
You wear pants, you can't. We'll have Wednesday night supper. We'll have Thursday night supper. Like
we don't eat fried chicken. It's an abomination.
Oh my God! That church.
Fried chicken.
It's ridiculous.
What about you, ladies? Like, is there like? I mean, I know how tied in Brandy Lynn is to the church, so we know her sort of. She's in it, right? So do you guys feel pressure because of your mom that comes over, or like does your friend circle? Like, tell me about it.
My mom comes over every Sunday, and if I decide one Sunday I'm not going to church and we're going to sleep in, she'll be knocking on my window. I'm not kidding. And if I don't go, she's like, well, if you're not going to go, I'm taking Kason. He deserves to get a go, and he deserves to know the Lord, and even if I decide to miss one Sunday. Or she'll be like, you can come with us, but we don't really want Jana to come. Like, so I'm like, what? Like
church,
right? To church, places. Where you should be inviting anybody and everybody.
The church, the Christian way.
And it's so segregated here. Like, really, it's hard to find a church that is racially diverse, much less any other thing. I mean, it's the church is the most segregated place in the South, and that is the truth.
Mm-hmm. But I will say this: we've been in the restaurant industry here for a while. And we meet all kinds of people. We meet pastors and all kinds of people. And there are pastors that we meet that know that we're lesbians and that invite us to their churches, and we go and we feel welcome and we feel great. So I do want to say that. I don't want it to seem like every single church we go to where there's nowhere we can worship. We went to church. Danica and I went every Sunday on our own accord until the whole baptism incident that was mentioned a little bit on the documentary. She decided she wanted to be baptized. He told her he wouldn't, in a nutshell, because she was a lesbian. And that really, we stopped going after that, which, we shouldn't let one guy at one church affect that, but that really just kind of tainted our desires to go and to fellowship with other believers. We're like, we could watch it on TV and not have to deal with it.
We actually had a pastor walk into the Dandelion Project right around July the 4th, and he invited our entire project to his church to a picnic they were having for the 4th of July with the city, fireworks and things. So my entire group, we went to his church, and it was pretty amazing. And I've been to his church once, and that's the first time I've stepped into church, and that was just in July. So I haven't been in church. That's not something that I wrestled with my faith for a long time, but I got into the Bible, and I started writing a blog. So I've got a blog where I took those 6 scriptures and I broke them down because they are wrong, they're misinterpreted, they're used incorrectly, and they're killing people with it. So I think it's important that people know about it.
A question that I think everyone would be thinking, so I'm just going to go ahead and pose this, is...
I'm like, what is it?
Why stay?
Right. People probably ask you that all the time. Why do you stay here?
And I mean in the actual location, and also in with church-related activities.
Well, oh Lord, that's a loaded question. Well, since when this first happened with the church, I begged Susan, please, because we couldn't go anywhere. We couldn't go into a restaurant. We couldn't go into Walmart, for God's sakes. I mean, it was horrible. It was so bad. We had to shop at the Kroger. It was awful. Anyway, but after I got healed and we started doing this documentary, and I was able to tell my story, and I started the Dandelion Project, and I really got into the fight for equality here in my state, and I've done many marches on the state capitol and things like that, fighting against the religious freedom laws and things like that. I want to stay here and fight. This is my city. This is my state. And like I said, the bigots can pack up and move. There's no reason for us to leave. If we all pack up and move north, Mississippi's going to lose their brightest and best, and they don't want that.
Have you gotten any sort of in danger or threats or anything because you're so outspoken?
I've been called, I've been called things, but I tell Susan, generally packs. So she's usually packing, and it's, she's very, she's more nervous. I'm the wild one. I'm like, hey, I'm here and I'm queer and I'm excited about it and I'm okay. She's the one that kind of keeps me settled down, but I'm not afraid.
Right.
I'm not afraid. I mean, if somebody comes at me, I mean, they're, Pastor Brandelin's going to show them about themselves, I think. But
okay, well, why do you have a heart for the church, and why usher the community together? Like why stay?
Well, I was a drug addict for 17 years. 17 years. And on September 26, 2003, I had an experience with God, and I got set free in a moment from a drug addiction, from a 17-year drug addiction. The desire was gone. It was a very miraculous thing for me, and I've watched God do that with many other people. And I believe that God is so much bigger than these small minds, and the message of radical grace is so much bigger than these people can fathom. And they are minimizing God, and they are making Him so much smaller. And people need to know that God loves them, and there's so much power and there's so much strength that you can gather from that. And I don't push Christianity. I want to say that right now. The Dandelion Project is not a Christian foundation. I do answer biblical questions and spiritual questions for people. We have atheists and we have Wiccans, and I think we have a couple of pagans. I mean, we have a little bit of everybody in the mix, so it's not something that I push. But I love people, and I think that is what people need. They need to be loved, and when they have spiritual questions, they know they can come to me. So I'm here. I mean,
who does the Dandelion Project? Do you work with other foundations, or what are your do you collaborate with anyone, or
we do.
What are references out there, or resources? I should say resources.
We're very connected with the Rainbow Center down on the coast, and they do a lot of work. We work with I don't know if you guys have seen if you're buying, we're selling sticker campaign, the We Don't Discriminate thing that's came out of Mississippi. We work with them, with Josie, and we work with the ACLU a lot. I mean, we work with HRC. So we work with a lot of people.
Can you give us a 2-sentence summary of what the Dandelion Project is, like for those who aren't familiar with it?
The Dandelion Project is an LGBT organization based here in Laurel, where we empower, educate, and enlighten our community, our kids, our adults, and we try to empower them through that education.
Empower them with
education. Education. I think people need to be educated. We've started some campaigns. We've started the We Are campaign, because especially in this area, when people find out your sexuality, the rest of your identity is overshadowed by stereotypes.
Right.
And so it's very important that we introduce ourselves. I am so much more than I'm a lesbian, and that's fabulous and that's wonderful. But I'm not, just a lesbian. I am a student, and I'm intelligent, and I'm a pastor, and I have all these other great things. And so we started the We Are campaign, and we try to show people that we are so much more than, what you have in your mind about homosexuals. And that's one thing we're trying to educate our community about what who we are. We're just people with real lives, regular lives. We go to Walmart. We go to work. We pay our bills. We do everything that you do, and we're not swinging from the chandeliers wrapped in rainbows and.
I mean, that sounds like a great Friday night. If we the girls now, tell me, guys.
Yeah.
Tell me, why do you guys stay?
Yeah, when people ask you, why don't you just move? What do you say?
Personally, I want to move. I'm ready to go to yesterday. Like, I'm ready to leave.
Yeah, she's from Colorado, so she's all about like packing up and just heading somewhere else.
It's hot as hell down here.
We talk about it all the time. We've talked about taking every state that allows gay marriage, putting it in a hat, picking it out, and moving there. Like, we don't have a preference. We don't care where we go. We want to go somewhere where, we can walk around and be advocates and have a family, and it's normal. It's not abnormal. It's not considered an alternative lifestyle. It's just who we are.
So right now, do y'all not hold hands when you walk around and stuff?
I try to hold Jana's hand all the time, and she'll put it behind her back whenever we like walk upon somebody, or she'll just let me go in the middle of the aisle, and I'm like, okay.
I grew up here. So
She's like, real talk. I'm here. I know what's happening.
Yeah, she just does not care, and I'm like, it's different, Which I admire her courage. I admire her ability to be like, F off. We're gonna do what we want, but it's different, I've had beer bottles thrown at me. I've had all kinds of stuff happen. So just to protect ourselves, I'm just like, stop it. And we're interracial on top of that, like, double whammy.
Guys.
But you're beautiful, and I love that they used your image on that picture that I see behind you. I love that. I see it behind you.
They sent us the poster. They, the Lauren Lazin, who's awesome.
Yeah.
The director, she did a fantastic job, and after the premiere in LA, she emailed me. She's like, I'm gonna send you guys that poster, and she sent it to us, and it came in the mail. So we just posted it up in our bedroom,
I'm gonna frame that.
Danica's mom didn't want it. Your mom doesn't want it, Danica.
I mean, we could try dropping it off at her house and see what happens.
You should autograph it. Hi, Mom.
So what is something that you don't think maybe the documentary touched on it, but you just want people to understand about your lives as lesbians in Mississippi?
We have a life. We have a regular life. We have a normal life. We love each other very much, and Susan is my everything. We have 5 dogs. We have, we have a regular life, and I mean that
and
is.
Your dogs haven't barked once. It's been our dogs that have been barking.
They can't hear you. If they heard your dogs, it would be really bad.
Well, can I also ask you too, Susan's gym? How is that doing? Because in the documentary, it was a focus of something that might not survive based on the fact that you're so out.
Well, we've had a few people stop in and say something, and we actually had a Zumba instructor contact us from close by. She's like, I want to come and work at your gym. So I think we've gained a Zumba instructor. But but when I came out and when all this happened with the church, we almost closed. It was really that bad. And so we're kind of watching, and we've had the support from all over has been incredible. We have had people offering to help us with all sorts of services, and they want to make sure that our gym doesn't go under, and they want to support the Dandelion Project. So the support has been incredible. So I think we're going to be okay. If not, we'll, I don't know, work at McDonald's or Walmart.
Walmart needs to pay us.
They're not going to hire you after that.
And what about you guys?
What was the question again?
About like anything that you would want people to know.
Yeah, exactly.
What I want for people to know is that even though we touched on the dark areas and the things that are difficult and the things that need to be shared and talked about, we're not walking around like, woe is me, and
right.
Like in this life and in this world where we're so unhappy, because if we were that unhappy, we would pack up and move yesterday. But we have a family, we've got friends, we love each other, we have a huge support system. We have our whole or whatever we're doing on weekends. We do it. We have a phenomenal time. We love it here. We just don't love some of the things that come with living here. So it's not just like this horrible, horrible place. One guy said, "Do you guys even have electricity?" And I'm like, "Dude, like just
that ridiculous.
People keep the lights on.
Right. So I want people to know that, like we're definitely we definitely have a life outside of the crap that we have to deal with, but you know that's a side of it's a part of the battle. It's a part of the LGBTQ battle. It's a part of your battle, even though you're in LA, and it's part of my battle.
But times are changing. I mean, the times they are, and and it's changing quickly. I mean, you know, people are starting to change their mind, and people are starting to see that, you know, I think that hate-filled mindset's dying, and I think anytime something's dying, it's fighting like hell to live. Mm-hmm. So you have that mindset that is just fighting because I mean, they see we're winning and we're going to win. It's a losing battle for them. We're winning. We're going to win. And that's just the end of the story. I mean, and it's just coming. The end is coming. I mean, the end is coming. Hallelujah, Pastor Potatoes. No, I mean,
years it'll be their idea. They'll be like, we were always for accepting everybody, so don't worry. That's
yeah, times are changing, and it's really getting better. It's really getting much better, and the next generation coming up is so much more accepting and so different. And it's, you know, it's the good old boys are dying off, and the next generation's coming, and that's hopeful. That brings hope to me.
Well, that seems like a really great note to end on.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for chatting with us today.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And for sharing your lives.
Yeah, your lives and everything in Mississippi.
Everything. You said a little southern, dear.
I'm from Virginia. That's why.
Virginia.
You guys don't consider Virginia the South. Like, as soon as I get above Georgia, they're like, that's not the South.
Yeah.
But they're like, you're from the South. I'm like, I'm not, but...
Oh wait, last question. What do you guys call a Diet Coke? What do you call it?
No, that's the wrong question. Here's what we're trying to settle. What do you call a drink that's that's bubbly?
Coke.
Coke.
So they call it Coke. It's a soda.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Okay, we just need to settle that, and I think it's right. But thank you guys so much. We loved the documentary and for sharing yourselves with us. So thank you.
What kind of Coke?
Thank you.
Shut up. Okay. Bye.